So when I first came to Penn was 1997, and I came to do my undergraduate degree, and started making a couple of friends. But in general, the culture that I found at Penn was, for me personally, very alienating. I was an international student, and as I said, being an older student, I just had a very hard time relating to my peers. So I ended up making friends with a group of graduate students who were actually Hispanic, who were from Spain and Mexico, and those became my actual group of friends at Penn at the time. I wish I had known about the Women's Center and other cultural centers at Penn, because that would have made my experience very, very different. I think I would have felt more grounded, I would have found a community, and without that, I felt pretty lost many times. I grew up with a single mom, and I was surrounded by lots of really powerful women. So for me, being aware of being a woman kind of was always there. The male figures in my life were very unreliable. The people who worked, the people who earned a living, the people who were, who were pushing me towards education were women. I definitely call myself a feminist. It's hard not to be a feminist growing up with my mom. For the time when she grew up, she would tell me she was the black sheep of the family because she did not conform to anything that was prescribed for her. She always told me that I had to get a good education because I should not have to rely on anybody. Not only not a man, but not anybody else. Like I should be able to take care of myself when I grew up. So, I mean, I think I basically was brought up as a feminist, even though the term was never really spoken. I mean, we never called it that way. My relationship with the Women's Center has been very multifaceted. I've done lots of different things. The first thing was coming here to knit and just hang out. And then I became a first-time parent. I became pregnant with my daughter, and when I transitioned to being a mom, I started looking for places to support me in that transition. It was pretty hard to go from just the general transition of becoming a parent was pretty hard. And so I approached Liti at the Women's Center and to set up a parent group for myself, because I just wanted to meet other people who were going through the same things and going through lactation, for example. I was surprised that there were no lactation spaces on campus except for the space in the Women's Center. And it was amazing. It was life transforming for me to be able to be given the space and be given the support and be given the resources to start something that didn't exist before. I met an amazing community that to this day continues to be in my life. I met people who came when they were first pregnant and now they have second or third children, and we're still friends and we're still helping each other. We take care of each other's kids. We, share resources in the community. We volunteer at each other's schools. So that has continued, 6 years later as a support. So the Women's Center was really pivotal in making that happen. As a woman, it's very hard to accept that you're struggling with something without fearing that people are going to stop taking you seriously and they're going to stop thinking that you're capable and smart. And there's so many amazing women on this campus who are smart and who are capable. But it's hard, and it's hard for everybody. And finding a space where you can accept that it is hard and that you need support and that you need somebody to sometimes just hold your hand and where you don't have to be strong and do it all. I think that's really one of the biggest advices is to find that space and to find the people that will hold you in that vulnerability. Just very recently, in the last couple of years, I discovered Take Back the Night. And that's something that probably at the time when I was dealing with the really strong feelings that were being evoked by going to therapy, I would not have been able to participate. But it's amazing to me that now, many years later, the first time that I was able to go to a rally, how empowering it felt to speak out and to have a voice and to be part of a crowd of people who were supporting me, not personally, but were supporting people who had gone through something so difficult in their life, and to feel the power in losing the shame around speaking about it. The Penn Women's Center is a space of possibility, a space of exploration, a safe space. It's a support network. It's a space where you can find role models that you want to, aspire to be, but then also where you can build a community.